Hello and welcome to this presentation on the Granthis. So there are three Granthis which are defined as knots which are difficult to untie. You have Brahmagranthi, Vishnu and Rudrakrati. All represent levels of awareness where the power of Maya, or ignorance, and attachment to material things is very powerful. Aspirants must transcend these barriers to clear a path for the rising Kundalini. So if we just reflect a moment on the term Maya, Maya means the valley of illusion. And if you think about the symbol Om with the three semicircles, which represent the physical realm that we live in now, the waking, sleeping and dreaming states of our existence. Separating us from enlightenment is that some crescent moon shape, which is Maya, and then above that the diamond is Turiya or enlightenment. So understanding and working with the Granthis is a way to understand that there is a higher purpose, and it gives us a map of how we might work our way towards this state of enlightenment. So there are three major intersections along the central subtle energy channel or Sushumna Nadi. At Muladhara, or the pelvic area, Anahata, the chest area, and Ajna, the eyebrow area. The concepts and explanations behind the Granthis can seem vague when dealing with such deep-seated blocks. This may be because they're at a level of awareness where the power of illusion or Maya and attachment to material things is especially strong. So Granthis are protective barriers like circuit breakers, which help to block sudden and uncontrolled upward flow of prana. So Granthis aren't necessarily a bad thing or a negative concept. They do have a positive aspect to them in that they do protect us from a quick flow or too much sudden rise in energy or understanding. The Granthis also bind us to misapprehension or reality or avidya, misconception of the self, asmita. They bind us to our preferences, raga and devesha, and root us in a fear of death, abhinivesha. So this is paying reference to the Yoga Sutras, the cliches from the Yoga Sutras. So essentially, if we don't understand the purpose of the Granthis, then we're always bound to the physical realm. And yoga does give us a route map, a road, a plan in order to transcend these concepts. So through yoga, we can acquire knowledge or jnana, which is the key component to transcend fear with action, karma, to free us from bondage. Hatha yoga gives us the tools of asana, bandhas, pranayama, drishti, shatkarmas, in order to untie these knots. So Hatha Yoga, all the tools of Hatha Yoga, as I mentioned, they're asana, bandha, pranayama, etc. They are the tools that we can employ to pierce these Granthis, untie these knots, so that there is a safe passage for Kundalini to rise along that central nadi, Sushumna. And also yoga, one of the most important concepts of yoga is acquiring knowledge, jnana. Without knowledge, we definitely stay stuck in this material realm. So looking at Brahmagranthi, which is located between Muladhara and Swadhisthana chakra. So this is the pelvic bowl down to the pelvic floor. So experienced as a constriction of awareness from moving beyond the physical dimensions. So being stuck in areas of sensuality and procreation, anxiety and fear for survival. Our consciousness is entangled at the worldly level. Primitive brain functions such as fight and flight reflex, fear of death, and anxiety around food and shelter keep us unaware of the subtle layers of existence. Brahmagranthi keeps us ensnared in tamas or lethargy, negativity and ignorance. These qualities prevent Kundalini from awakening. So essentially Brahmagranthi relates to an awful lot of our existence in the physical realm. Our fear of not having enough money, not having shelter, fear of losing family, etc. It does ensnare us and holds us in this realm. So working with the tools of yoga, such as asana and bandha, especially things like bandha, helps us pierce these knots that are very difficult to untie, so that it allows Kundalini to rise, clearing a path for a deeper understanding. Vishnu, located between Manipura and Anahata. So Manipura is navel area and Anahata is up to the mid-chest. Experienced as a knot of individual power. We have a fear of losing prestige, a knot of accumulation of power. Possessions and fame tie us to this level of awareness. We must give up the love of power and fame, and we must give up our love of power for the power of love. The ability to put our front aside and challenge our own status quo to untie Vishnu. Vishnu has the Rajasic qualities of passion, assertiveness, and ambition. So Rajasic qualities. So we all need Rajasic qualities. We all need to get up and go. We all need some passion. We all need to assert ourselves. We all need ambition. Otherwise, it can be very tamasic. Becomes very heavy. However, too much passion, too much drive, too much I must win seems to be the qualities that tie us to a Vishnu Granthi. So understanding, looking for a balance in our life would be the way to overcome this area. Moving on to Rudrakrati, which is located at Ajna Chakra, or the eyebrow center area. So experienced as the forehead knot related to the pride that comes from the service to others. The knower of knowledge, this Granthi prevents us from our goal of unity with all beings. We must give up our sense of individual ego to transcend duality. So maybe someone who does lots of things for lots of people, always busy doing things for other people, and busily telling everyone else that they're doing it for everyone else, when in fact, if they really stopped and thought about it, it's for the gratification of their own ego. So this would be Rudrakrati. So summing up, Granthis are knots which prevent our emotional and physical growth. Through yoga, we can begin to untangle these knots, which reveals to us our higher selves. The truth is, even when we unscramble the knots, without persistence, willfulness and determination, they can soon tangle again. So in this, we manage to sustain our hatha yoga practice of asana, pranayama, mudra, bandha, shatkarmas. In this, we continue to sustain that practice on a regular basis. Any breakthroughs that we might experience through the practice would soon begin to get tangled up, and we soon get ensnared once more in the physical realms of this life. Thank you for watching.